Alright, we are back. Well, I am back with the Integra. This is an Integra update kind of little build video. Let's see. Boom! Been waiting on these forever and a day. Bam! We got the ARPs in. And if you've never got ARPs before, which I think this is only the second time I've ever gotten the ARPs. If you pop open the box, right, you get a little bit of instructions and stuff. You pop that off, you get this fastener assembly lubricant. Yeah, so you put that like on the threads or something. There's like directions. We're not gonna worry about that. Then you got this bag right here. These are the new nuts, if you can see those. Then you got this bag. These are the washers that go on the top, and here we go in all their glory. These are the money makers right here, the studs. So that's what's gonna hold the head on there a whole lot tighter and not let the gasket blow next time. And yeah, so but we are not going to be installing the head this episode because let me cut to it right now. Yeah, nothing's getting done outside today because if you can see, it is raining. Not a big deal because I'm not really ready to put it all back together yet. So I'm going to show you step one, about the only thing that I can do inside with the head. So let's cut to that. Little side note, I forgot to mention it. If y'all remember from where I was putting the exhaust manifold on, I had a broken exhaust stud and I just left it in there and rocked with it. Well, that was just, future planning because I knew the head was going to go to the machine shop, and he did end up getting the exhaust stud out of there, and he like beveled it out a little bit so I can get a new stud in. And I can't pick it up with the camera, but the threads are good in there. So I need to pick up another stud before I get the head back on there. And yeah, so that'll even be holding tighter, so to make more boost and more horsepower. But yeah, so. Alright, well now that it's time, I'm going to show you how to assemble the head. You don't do it exactly in this order. Normally you would set the head on the car and put the head bolts in, go ahead and torque down and get your head bolts all right, and then you would do the cams and the cam caps. But since it's raining and I wanted to get the head out of the weather and I was bored, and I had actually a lot of had like 3 or 4 people a message asking about the sequence. You can take this information, watch it, and kind of reverse it, and that's how you take it apart, and this is how you put it back together once it's on the car and have the head bolts. Don't go and assemble in your head in your bedroom like this and then take it out to your car and figure out, oh, I can't get my head bolts in or my studs in because the cam's in the way. That's just food for thought. So I know somebody is gonna say that or do that just ahead of time warning. This is just for informational purposes. Probably going to be putting the head on the car as soon as this rain lets up. Maybe tomorrow, Saturday, soon, hopefully. So just stay tuned for that, and let's cut to the footage. Alright, now we got the exhaust to the front of us, just like it would be on the car, and the intakes on the back side, just because that's the way I like to take it apart, or that's the way you take it apart, and that's the way I like to put it back together to make sure I don't mix anything up. And now you see how all these are dry. I mean, they're a little wet. They have like some WD-40 on them where I was spraying the head down with WD-40. And actually, I got a little bit of rust right there where I missed some spots, but that's because I let it sit outside for so long. So what I'm going to do before I go and put any assembly lube on anything, or before I drop the cams in there, I'm actually going to squirt a little bit of brake cleaner in all these areas, clean them out real good, wipe it down, and then I'm going to be putting on the assembly lube. So I'm going to cut to that. Alright, so I got the this whole intake side, all those cleaned out and ready to drop the cam in here in a second. And normally when I take all these cam caps off, I like to take them off in order. So if you look over here in my box, here's the cam. This is the intake cam. And then if you look at the caps, it's in order. So, you know, this cap goes all the way over here to this far side. And then this cap is the next one, and on all down the line. And that way, I mean, they are different and they are numbered on top of the caps, but it just makes it easy. You don't even have to think about it or look at the numbers or the arrows or anything. So, yeah, that's the easy, simple rundown way. And also the rockers right here, I keep those in order too, because if you keep them in order, then when you go to set them back on there, boom, you don't have to do any valve lash adjustment, because if it was good before, it'll be good now, because you're not changing anything. But now if you mix them up, they will be wrong, and you will have to adjust the valves, and that's just extra stuff that we don't want to do. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop all these bad boys in, and I'll be right back. Alright, and now before I even get too far ahead, I'm going to put assembly lube down through there, put it there, there, and yeah, right. Actually, I did not need to put assembly lube there. That's where the pretty sure that's where the seal goes. So, oops. Alright, now we got her all looby-doobied up. So, I'm going to take the cam and drop her in there. Making sure it roughly all lines up. Cam seal goes right there. Alright, so yeah, these line up with that, line up with that. I mean, it kind of only really goes in one way. Just make sure you have the intake cam for the intake side and the exhaust cam for the exhaust side. And the easiest way to know is the intake cam has got a slot right there where the distributor fits on, and the exhaust side has a plug. So yeah, remember when I lubed up right here and it didn't even really need it? Yeah, I'm smart. So let's keep on going, and let's grab the first cap. So this cap would be going right here. And what I do is I'll go ahead and lube up all these caps and then set them all on there, and don't tighten any of them down yet. So we'll cut to that. Alright, now that we have all the caps on and all the bolts, you're just going to want to start each and every single one of those by hand. You don't want to have those cross thread. Those are semi-important. So we're just going to start all those by hand. Make sure they're all started. And then I'm going to grab my little gun and zip them down. But you don't want to just do one all the way down, then the other all the way down. What I do is I'll get it firm, snug, 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 snug it all up all the way across, and then slowly bring them down. That way, you know, I don't think we'd bend the cam, but we definitely just don't want to put any extra pressure on there than we have to. So, alright, so the battery for my impact is dead. I just put it on charge. Right there, I got a little Craftsman impact, but so I'm just gonna run these down with my fingers, and I'm gonna get ready and throw in the exhaust side. But I'm just gonna time lapse that. So yeah, enjoy the time lapse. Alright, so after you have your head fully assembled on the car and you already have everything tightened down, it'll look something like this. And just for reference, I know a couple people had asked me, but they wanted to see the letters and the numbers. Let me see if I can wipe that off, make it a little bit easier to see. Yeah, here, just for reference. So, I1, I2, I3, I4, I5, can you kind of see that one? I5, and then I6. And what those stand for are intake, and it's the number of the cap, and then they all have an arrow and it's all pointing towards the cam gear. And if you go over to the exhaust, it's the same way. E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, and E6 for exhaust side. So it's very simple. You do want to make sure that all your rockers are face up. I don't really know how you can get it wrong, but if they're like cocked in there sideways, and then yeah, you got to turn the motor over, that'd be pretty bad. So yeah, that's how you do it. And obviously, you know, this would be the time to start letting her rip. Alright guys, now that you know how to assemble your Integra head, if you didn't already know how to, and my horrible method for putting it together, and how slow I am, but still, it works. And I'm going to put in a little graphic art thing, like a little picture of what the decals are going to look like. This is going to be the first run. He sent me a couple different ideas, but this one seems like simple and to the point, and they're going to be like, I think it was like 5.5 inches, almost like 6 inches long and white, and I think it was 2 inches tall. So they're going to be relatively small, and I'm getting a batch of just like 50, just some feeling it out. So if you do actually want a sticker, just email me. The email is always in the description, and the Instagram is also in the description, so you can follow on Instagram. I'm going to start posting up some more like random pictures of what's going on with the cars and the builds, and yeah, so that way you can keep up to date. But email me if you want a sticker, and I'm not going to charge anything for, like, you know, this first batch. I'm just going to give them out. Obviously just one per person. I'm not going to give everybody, you know, like 10 stickers a piece. But if you want one, send me a thing, and if I still got some, I'll send you some. So yeah, but thank you for watching. This is Brandon with Motornubs, and we'll see you on the flip side.